All right, so coming onto your back and getting comfortable, relatively comfortable, closing your eyes. And let's just today put it this way, just checking in first. So just feeling, how does the body feel? If I talk about the heart, if I say like, how does your heart feel? I'm generally talking about your emotional life, your emotional body. So is there a lightness, a heaviness, excitement, exhilaration, dread? What sort of mood are you bringing today? And don't judge it. So very important with mindfulness is not to resist or judge what we find. So maybe you have a very heavy heart, and instead of deciding, oh, that's terrible, I feel awful, I want it to change, this is bad, just acknowledge, okay, I'm starting the class with a heavy heart. And then mentally, mind and emotions are very closely linked, but it can be helpful to speak about them as though they are separate. So just noticing what I'll call words are words, or what I'll call thoughts are words or pictures in the mind. Okay, so emotions are felt in our body as like contractions, dense, areas in our body, but thoughts are pictures, right? I'm remembering a scene from this weekend or something. I can actually see a little picture in my mind, or words that are heard or seen in the mind again. So just noticing that. And for many of us, it's like being at the end of a fire hose. So for many people, there's so many thoughts and pictures, words and pictures, that it's like a blur. And so that's where meditation can really help, where we begin to slow that down a little bit, and it begins to become a little more clear what's happening in the mind. Now, generally what's happening in the mind affects the heart and ultimately affects the body as well. So it's worth taking that time to really notice, and vice versa, I'll say. So what we're doing to our body is going to affect our thoughts, it's going to affect our feelings. That's one of the reasons why we do postures in yoga, is you might find that you're in a mental loop and you can't get out of it. But if you start to manipulate your body, you might find that you get out of that mental loop much more easily. All right, now we'll begin the Dirga technique. So inhale, fill the belly, the ribs, and the upper chest. And as you exhale, you just reverse that. Now from there, we add the Ujjayi, which is a soft hissing or ocean sound at the back of the throat. Okay, now we begin to warm up the hips. So there are 3 areas that we need to open up to do deep back bends. Front of the hips, the back, the spine, the back, and then the front of the shoulders as well, okay? So we'll start with the hips. Let's bring the left. Okay, so make sure you know your left and your right. Bring the left leg in, and we'll cradle that leg. Just move it around a little bit. Again, warming it up. Okay, so noticing what you feel. If there's a lot of sensation or even pain, then that might mean you have to modify some of the postures today. Hopefully you just feel good. It just feels good to move your body, to begin stretching it, moving it in different ways. All right, so to open up the front of the hip, we use what's called a cattail. And so to do the cattail, what we'd like is to take that leg, so left leg again, make sure you know your left and your right, left leg up and drop it over to the ground, to the right. Prop your head up on the right hand and elbow, take the right leg back, and then bend the knee, reach back and grab the foot. Pull it in toward your buttocks until you feel stretched, the front of the thigh. The front leg can be straight or bent. Okay, it can be high or low. The straighter and the higher, though, the deeper the stretch will be. So I get a deeper stretch if I straighten this leg out. And then if you can't grab this back foot, use a strap. Again, if you don't have a strap, use a tie or a belt or something like that that you have at home. And then keep the breathing slow, deep, and rhythmic. And hopefully you feel the front of that thigh beginning to relax. Those are your quads, and the front of your hip is hip flexors. And those are the two muscle groups that we're trying to begin opening here. So hips in general are big muscles with lots of ligament and tendon around them. So it takes several repetitions and it takes time to open them up. Otherwise, we put all the strain on our back, and we don't really want to do that. We want kind of even work in the hips, the back, and the shoulders. All right, let's go ahead and release that leg, and we will roll onto the back here. And if you take a moment just to feel both sides, hopefully you can feel the shift or the difference between the right and left side. And then we do the same thing on the other side. Remember, we began with the leg cradle. So we're going to bring this right leg in. We just cradle the leg and move it around a little bit. Again, what do you feel? So on the other side, I felt more in the front of the hip as I was doing this. And on this side, I feel it more in the back. So again, it's interesting. It can be telling where we feel things in our body. Okay, to do the cattail, we just extend this leg up and then drop it over. Prop your head up and then take the bottom leg, move it back, and then bend the knee, reach back, grab that foot. And you should feel a good, satisfying stretch in the front of that hip and thigh. And I actually feel it in my back a little bit here, which is interesting. Again, it's all just information. The body is just constantly communicating with us. And most of us have been conditioned to essentially tune the body out. Almost like the body is a nuisance. You know, the sensations coming from the body are a nuisance. So many of us are just used to ignoring most of what the body is communicating. We only pay attention to extreme pleasure and extreme pain. So during yoga, we want to start getting in the habit and the practice of really paying attention to more subtle things. And as things change as well. So as I've held this, the sensations have shifted and changed quite a bit. And that's, again, one of the reasons we do postures, right? To change these things. Okay, let's release and we'll roll back onto our back. What do we feel? And again, not just physically, again, what we felt in our heart, what was happening in our mind, these things may have shifted as well. It's not just the postures, but also the breathing. Please keep that in mind. So don't forget about that deep, slow breathing that we're doing. All right, from there, let's bring both legs in and we will rock and roll up to seated. Cross those ankles and roll forward into a tabletop. And in tabletop, we do a few rounds of cat-cow, which is very effective for warming up the back and the spine. So you tuck the tailbone on the exhale, lift the tailbone on the inhale. So for me, I'm happy to report back feels very good today. If there's anywhere that I'm feeling, it's more my neck right now. For some reason, my neck has been bothering me a bit for the last few weeks. The trade-off is my back has felt a lot better. So hopefully I'll get them both feeling great very soon. All right, from there we come back to neutral, and from here with our hips above the knees, so we don't want this to change. This is going to stay right where it is. So we exhale, we just walk those hands forward and see if we can get our forehead or chin to the mat. Now notice my arms are straight, my elbows are off the ground, and I draw my chest down and back, and I feel it in my shoulders. All right, with the inhale, we come back up. And then as we exhale, we tuck those toes and lift the hips and come into a down dog. So in down dog, we stretch things out a bit. What are you feeling in the toes, the feet, the ankles, the knees, the lower leg? What do they need in terms of movement to get them warmed up, prepared? Okay, and then when you're done, coming into your full down dog for a few breaths with the hands shoulder width, fingers wide, palms flat, chest drawing toward the toes, feet hip distance, and heels reaching toward the ground. With our next exhale, we can walk our feet to the hands, coming into the ragdoll, grabbing the opposite elbow. You can nod or shake the head, sway the hips, bend the knees. And then with an inhale and arms relaxed, we can gradually roll up, stacking ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. What we call a relaxed mountain pose, Tadasana. Okay, so we'll begin doing a slightly more vigorous segment now. This is the sun salutations. And what we'd like is feet either touching or hip distance is fine, but we want the inside edges of the feet to be parallel. So a lot of times when I'm teaching, I'll see students who are standing like this. I don't know if you can see, but my feet are apart. Some people even sometimes stand like that with their toes in. Okay, so I just want you to be mindful of that and see if we can get the inside edges of the feet just parallel with one another. Okay. And then inhale, arms up, touch palms, lift the heart. And this is our first back bend here that we're holding. So as usual, I want you to imagine going up and over a beach ball. And I'd like you to feel the space from the pubic bone through your chin and see if you can create an even stretch, even space all along that front side of the body. Good. Inhale, come up through neutral, and exhale to the forward fold. Bend the knees if you need to. Get those palms flat. Let the neck relax. On the inhale, let's come to fingertips or take hands to shins, lengthening out the spine. And then exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot and then the left to the top of a push-up. At the top of your push-up, I'd like you to make sure that your wrists are directly below your shoulders and you're actively pressing the ground away from you. Ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels are in one straight line. Let's take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we drop the knees and come down halfway, elbows hugging the ribs. Take a breath there. And with the next exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Once you get there, bring your feet together and gently press the tops of the feet into the mat. With this first one, as usual, we're just going to isolate back muscles. So inhale, lift the hands, head, neck, and chest. Now what you'll notice for almost everybody, you can go much deeper with your hands on the ground, assisting you, okay? So what that means is your back muscles are not strong enough to lift you very high here, okay? You need your hands or some other thing to take you deeper, which is fine. That's how it is for most people, but I just want you to feel what it feels like and how far you go when you're just using back muscles. No help, because it is different. So this is how we strengthen those back muscles, is we engage them and we use them, even though we don't go as deep, okay? All right, exhale, come on down, and then inhale, just press back to tabletop, and we exhale back to downward dog. All right, from our down dog, let's inhale to the toes, fill the lungs. We exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. Inhale to standing back bend, up and back. And then grab the right wrist and exhale, pull yourself to the left. Bring your hips to the right and look up and to the right in front of the arm, rolling the shoulder back. Once again, find an even stretch from the waist through the wrist. So think about length rather than depth. Good. Inhale back to center. Switch wrists. And again, think about length rather than depth. You're lengthening the left side rather than trying to go down to your right. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale to the half lift and exhale, step your left and then right to the top of push-up. All right, as usual, your call whether you want to do knees up or down, but what I ask is you be really careful about upper body form. Okay, so take a deep breath, exhale halfway down, take a breath there, and then exhale onto your belly. Once you get there, on the inhale, this time we press into those hands and look at how much further we go using our arms. Okay, so we are now not working our back, but we are working the spine more. Okay, so this is more just flexibility rather than strength. We're strengthening the arms though. Exhale, come on down. Tuck the toes. Now listen carefully. On your inhale, instead of peeling off the ground, which is what most people do, I'd like you to inhale, lift your knees, hips, and chest at the same instant to the top of your push-up. So you can watch me. Inhale, top of the push-up. Exhale, down dog, okay? I'll show you how it looks when it's done improperly, okay? It looks like this. Inhale, top of the push-up, peeling off the ground, okay? So that's what I'd say most people do, unless they're taught not to do that. Okay, so we'd like to try and avoid that peeling action. Okay, let's do one more. Inhale to the toes, fill the lungs. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend up and back. And exhale, stretch the right side. Good. Inhale, center. Stretch the left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, sit into an imaginary seat, chair pose, Utkatasana. Good. So strength posture, just like the strengthening back bend, this will create a lot of heat, intensity, what we call tapas in yoga. All right, as we inhale, let's come back up, standing back bend, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, if you can, right to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale for up dog, so knees are off the ground, legs are active. And exhale, do a push-up on your way back to down dog if you're able to. Oh, I actually skipped doing the shoulders. Oh no, I think we did do the shoulders. Never mind. All right. So nice and warmed up at this point. I'm just going to turn so I can continue facing the camera. Let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale, right leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. So again, this is going to show up later. The foot is flexed, the toes, knee, and hip point down. Leg is straight and lifted without lifting the hip. So if you look at me for a moment, look at how much higher I can bring that leg if I lift my hip. Okay, so that's not what we're looking to do. We want to lift the leg as high as we can without lifting that hip. So take a deep breath, exhale, lunge, and we inhale to the crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. All right, so front foot and knee pointing straight ahead. The knee lunges over the heel. Okay, the left foot, heel is reaching toward the ground behind the toes, left leg is straight. Left hip forward, right hip back, arms up and back framing the ears. So this is a back bend, even though we're standing. Should feel the front of your left hip stretching. Those are your hip flexors, and again, that's an area we are trying to open up to do our deep back bend work. Let's take a deep breath. As we exhale, we're just going to bend the arms. And then inhale, we come up into this position, which is stupa, which is pretty much just a transition. Let's exhale, come to the back of the mat, and let's just repeat that action. So we inhale up, and then we exhale to crescent, okay? A couple more times, inhale up, and exhale, crescent lunge. Good. And I think there's a well, let's come up, and then now we come into Utkatta Konasana, which is the goddess pose. Okay? So in goddess, we have the toes and knees pointing in the same direction. Knees are basically over the heels with the thighs approaching parallel. So, you know, this would be parallel, but if I go there, I'm going to fall out of it pretty quick. So this is my edge, and then my arms are mirroring what I'm doing with the legs. So again, a lot of intensity because there's a lot of strength involved in this, a little bit of stretching, but it's probably more strength posture than a stretch posture, okay? So again, kind of a power pose, if you will. All right, let's inhale back up to stupa. We exhale to our crescent lunge, and then inhale arms up, and exhale bottom of the push-up, making your way back to the downward facing dog, all right? And then we'll explore the other side. Okay, from our down dog, we bring our feet to touch. Inhale left leg for three-legged dog. Let's hold it for a few breaths, just refine that alignment. This will come back later when we do the warrior three, which is part of our sequence today. So I want you to get a handle on that leg position, get some awareness there. So take a deep breath, exhale, lunge, and then we inhale to the crescent lunge. All right, again, we'll hold it for a few breaths. Feel that front thigh working And then again, the right hip stretching. The upper body is up and back. That's going to help with that stretch at the front of the hip. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale, bend those arms. And we inhale up to stupa. And then we exhale to crescent lunge at the back. Good. And then we just follow our breath side to side a few times. Good. And this time we'll exhale and come into the goddess. And this being our second time around, maybe go a little further, a little deeper, just exploring. Maybe you can refine it a little bit. One thing to explore with any power posture like this is, can I externally be very powerful? So I'm doing something that's not easy with my body, but inwardly I feel calm, centered, relaxed. So you can hear my voice. I'm not, I'm not panicking. It's very intense for me. So again, this comes from training. It's not necessarily going to happen right away, but by bringing awareness to this gradually over time, you can learn to, in very stressful situations, stay calm, stay centered, stay relaxed. And a lot of that has to do with your breathing, okay? All right, let's inhale back up, and we exhale, crescent lunge. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to the downward facing dog. So the way I like to sequence is mixing in the back bends throughout and then doing some deep back bend work at the end. So let's exhale onto the belly, and we'll do our first back bend, which is asymmetrical. It's the Ardha Shalabhasana, the half locust. So bring our arms out in front of us, palms down, mouth, chin, forehead on the mat. And then on the inhale, we'll lift the right leg and arm as high as we can lift them. So we're just isolating the right side. Notice my left leg and arm are on the ground, but my head is lifted up. Good. Exhale, come on down, turn the head to one side, take a breath. And let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg and arm lift. So if you're looking at me, you see it's not like impressive. It's not like, oh my God, what is he doing? Wow, that's so deep. But if you're doing this right now, you feel how intense it is, okay? So again, that intensity is something we're trying to learn to be comfortable with, because a lot of times life gets very intense. And one way of thinking of yoga practice is it's really training our nervous system to handle the ups and downs of life, okay? All right, exhale, come on down, turn the head to the opposite side, take a breath. Good. And then from there, you can press back to tabletop. Again, you can pop up, lifting the knees, hip, and chest all at the same time. And then from there, you can come back to down dog. You could also do a vinyasa. It's really up to you. All right, on the inhale, we're going to come to the toes. Exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale to standing back bend up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, and exhale to the bottom of your push-up. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Okay, from down dog, we bring the feet to touch. We inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, bend those arms. Inhale to stupa. And we add goddess. So we exhale to our goddess. Inhale back up. And then exhale to crescent lunge at the back. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale up. And we exhale to goddess. Inhale back up. And exhale to crescent lunge at the front. Good. Now listen carefully. Inhale, arms up. And exhale to warrior three, Dvijasana 3. So remember I said that leg would come back, and here it is from three-legged dog, right? So notice my toes are pointing down, not to the left. Again, my leg is lifted, but it's not lifting my hip up, right? So my hip is facing the ground. Arms are parallel with the ground, framing the ears. Breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. Good. Deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to downward dog. So we have a little less balance this week than we did last week. We did a lot of balance last week, but more back bending this week. Okay, let's explore the other side. Feet touch, inhale left leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms. And then inhale, stupa. Let's add in goddess. So we exhale down. And remember, each time you might want to explore going a tiny bit deeper because your body tends to adapt. And as it adapts, it can go deeper. It allows you to go further without strain, without hurting yourself. Okay, so we come back to the front of the mat. We inhale the arms up and exhale to our warrior three posture. Take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to down dog. So again, in a class like this one, two of the most valuable things we are getting are back bending and balancing. Another very important element, core strengthening. Okay, these are core strengthening, upper body. So those are really the big things in the vinyasa class that we're getting in terms of our overall health. We're also getting a little bit of cardio. Our heart is getting worked a bit. But those are really the huge benefits. So again, balance, back bend, try not to miss them, okay? All right, so from here, from down dog, let's exhale onto the belly. We did the half locust, so now we'll do the full version, okay? So arms out in front, mouth, chin, forehead on the mat. Then very simply inhale, just lift everything as high as you can lift it. Good. Exhale, come on down. And again, you could go through tabletop. You could do this move again, lifting the knees, hips, and chest at the same time, and then exhaling back to down dog. You could throw a vinyasa in there if you'd like. It's really up to you. All right, so from there, let's inhale to our toes, fill the lungs. Exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, crow pose, or even handstand if that's a part of your practice. And then exhale to the top of your push-up, plank. Oh, sorry. Exhale back to down dog. Let's get back to down dog. All right, so we have one more sequence of flow left here. That will bring us to one of our peak postures. So feet touching, inhale right leg, exhale lunge, inhale crescent lunge. Good, exhale we bend those arms, inhale stupa. Exhale goddess, inhale back up, exhale crescent. Good, inhale warrior three. Kind of tricky transition. Good, exhale step back crescent. Inhale stupa, exhale goddess. So I know that might be tricky for you, it's okay, do the best that you can. Inhale back up, and exhale crescent at the front. Good, inhale warrior three. And then from warrior three, bend the left knee, reach back, grab, bend the left knee, foot flexed, and then arms out like wings, okay? So this is the Dvijasana, the bird pose. Head, neck, and chest now face forward. All right, so we're looking forward, the heels coming in towards the buttocks. Our gaze is up, neck and chest face the front wall. Pelvis faces the ground. Good, take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up, and making your way back to down dog. So that's the bird pose. Again, it's one of our peak postures today. Let's try that on the other side. We bring the feet to touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, back up. And exhale, crescent lunge, front. Good. From there, we inhale to our warrior three. And exhale, step back into crescent. Good. Again, inhale up. Exhale, goddess. Let's inhale back up. Exhale, crescent. Let's try this transition a little different this time. So inhale, arms. Exhale, grow some wings. Join index finger and thumb together. And then coming off the back leg, pull the heel in. Tilt the pelvis toward the ground. And head, neck, and chest face forward. Okay, so bird pose. So same posture. We just got into it directly instead of going through warrior three first. Good, deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to the downward dog. Okay, from our down dog, let's exhale back onto the belly. We'll explore another asymmetrical back bend, and this is the half bow. Okay, so laying down, again, arms out in front, then bending the right knee, reach back, grab the foot, the ankle, or the shin. Again, you could use a strap, but if there's pain in your knee or ankle, then maybe just repeat this, which we did last time, okay, the half locust, okay? So grabbing the foot, exhale, inhale, kick up and back. Again, notice my left hand and leg stay on the ground. My head lifts up though, my chest lifts up. Good, exhale, come on down, turn the head to one side. Let's do the other side, so same thing, this is the half floor bow, Ardha Dhanurasana. Inhale, kicking up and back. Good. Exhale, come on down. Turn the head to the opposite side. Breathe. And then from there, we press back to tabletop. Or actually, inhale if you can, top of your push-up. Exhale back to down dog. All right. Good work, everybody. From here, let's inhale toes. Exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to the half lift. And exhale, back onto your belly. All right, so that concludes the standing portion of our practice, and now we will begin exploring some deep floor work with back bends. Okay, so we begin with the symmetrical version of what we just did, which is Dvijasana. And this is a rather deep back bend, at least potentially. Okay, so grabbing the feet, ankles, or shins. Feet can flex or point. And then exhale, inhale, kicking up and back together. So generally we're going to go deeper with both legs working. Good. Exhale, come on down, turn the head to one side, relax and breathe. From there, let's press back into child. And then we'll inhale and sit up. Okay, let's do a little side bending here between the back bends. So this is one we do almost every week, Padikasana. Left leg to the left, toes point up. Okay, and then from there, we inhale the right arm up and exhale the left hand down the leg. Again, I'm going to look up and to the right. I'm going to roll that shoulder back. Again, can I create an even stretch? So again, length, not depth. Good. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, let's bring that leg in. Good. Side two. Leg goes out to the side, foot is flexed. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale into our side bend. Good. We inhale, coming back up. And exhale, we draw that leg in. And then let's go ahead and prepare for another back bend. So this is Ustrasana, camel. So knees are hip distance. All right, we can tuck those toes. It's optional, but feet are also hip distance. Hands to the low back. So pinkies touch, elbows in toward one another. And then if you've ever had pain in your back when doing this, maybe knees a little wider than hip distance, okay? Inhale, lift the heart. Again, lengthening rather than going deeper. So can I lengthen and stretch the front of my body? I'm lifting my heart up. And then from there, if you want, you can grab heels, ankles,
calves or knees. Good. Inhale, come on up. And exhale as you sit back into your seat. Take a deep breath, relax. Okay. Rabbit is next, Asangasana. So from here, Vajrasana. Take a deep breath, tuck the chin, round the back, and try and bring your forehead as close to your knees as you can. Reach down, grab your heels, and then inhale, lift the hips until the arms are straight. Very little weight on the crown of the head. Exhale, hips come back down. Inhale, rolling back up to seated. Good. Let's go ahead and lift those hips up. We cross those ankles. Bring them out in front of us for a seated twist. Bending the right knee, we cross that foot over the left leg, like so. And then we can bring that left foot back towards the right hip. So you notice I'm sitting nice and tall, so nice erect spine. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale that hand behind. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale the elbow over the knee. Inhale, sitting tall, and exhaling, looking back over the shoulder. Good. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, extend your legs. And let's switch sides. Okay, so same thing here. This is called Ardha Matsyendrasana. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, hand behind. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale the elbow over the knee. Inhale, extend, and exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, extend those legs. Inhale, arms, and exhale, roll back. Good. So here we come to another peak, if you will. So this is potentially our deepest back bend. And this is the wheel, but we'll start with bridge because bridge is much more accessible to most people, okay? So feet and knees, again, hip distance or slightly wider is fine. Might even be advisable, again, if you've had pain in your back doing this. And then we just start with our hands next to the hips, palms down. Then we just lift those hips up. And then here, we can take those fingers, interlace them, join the palms, and we can shrug one shoulder under and then the other. Now lift those hips nice and high. Okay, so that's the bridge. Again, perfectly good back bend. You can stay there, hold, breathe. And then if you'd like to go a little further, you release those hands, bring them on either side of the head, if you will, and probably wider than shoulder width, so a little wider. And then pressing into the hands and the feet, you lift up into upward bow. Good. With an exhale, you can come back down and just let your knees drop in against one another. Okay, from there you can let your knees drop side to side gently. And then you can bring those legs in and give them a nice squeeze. Extending the arms to the sides, we drop the knees to the left and look to our right. And at this point, we can let go of the active breathing. Good. Inhale back to center, and we exhale off to the other side. Good. Inhale back to center, and grab the soles of the feet for happy baby. A great way to finish almost any active class like this one. Good. And then coming into your final relaxation in Shavasana, heels apart, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly. Set a timer for 5 or 6 minutes and see if you can commit to 5 or 6 minutes of stillness and silence.